How's it going, guys? Wanted to take a few minutes in this video to talk with you all about some of the things that we are seeing with the supply shortages, things like that. I've talked about some of this stuff before in other videos, but what we are seeing is more problems. We're seeing more things within stores, things that were much more common. We're seeing a lot of those things harder to find, and I've talked about things like this before in other videos. I've talked about why it's important for you to build up your resources prior to panic buying and things like that. I've talked about why it's important for you to be able to replenish your food supply, things like that. And we still see a lot of these things growing within our country, but I want you to take just a few minutes and consider the way the world was in your parents and great grandparents' generation. And many of you all will be quite surprised to know that they didn't have a lot of the conveniences of things that we have today. That's something that we've just grown accustomed to. We've grown up with a lot of the modern conveniences of the world today. We have grown up with being able to go to the store and buy whatever we want in most cases. But for a good portion of the history of this country, that's not the case. If you were to study about the history of World War II, just go back to your grandparents' generation, and you will see that there were a lot of people that had to give up a lot of things just to help support the war effort. There again, we were very well off compared to a lot of other nations as far as what they had to give up. But we still, or I should say, our grandparents, our ancestors still had to give up quite a bit of the luxuries that they had grown accustomed to. Now, their luxury items, rubber, things like that, if you go back and look about the history of World War II, you will see that there were a lot of things that were basically repurposed just for the war effort. And of course, that generation of people came out of the Great Depression. They knew what it was to not have things. They knew what it was to grow the food that they ate. They know what it was to repair things. We live in a disposable world these days. Once something gets worn out, we just throw it away and go get another one. Back then, that wasn't the case. If something was not functioning properly, if you had a tool, a piece of equipment or something, you didn't just throw it away. You would repair it. They had the skills to do those things as well. We don't see as much of that in the generations of today, just because we have grown up on the coattails of those that made the sacrifices, that made things better in the world that they lived in, and passed that along to us. I guess you could say the younger generations have been quite spoiled. And I think that the spoiling is getting a little closer to ending, with a lot of the supply shortages and things that we're seeing for various reasons, as we all know, for political reasons, for just many reasons. There's going to be a shift, there's going to be a change, a redirection of the world that we live in, and there's going to have to be. We're going to have to get back to where more of us understand how to do things that our parents and grandparents knew. As I talked before, how many of you all can provide for yourself simple food without having to go to the grocery store, things like that? How many of you can do basic repairs on vehicles? How many of you can just maintain the vehicles you've got? Checking the oil, gauging the tires. It will amaze you that how many people there are that cannot do that. It amazes me every time that I hear or see of someone who can't. but they're out there. You know, that's why it's important for us to preserve those skills, teach the younger generation those things, to where they can get along a little better. You know, changing a tire on a car. There's people that will be stranded for hours, have everything they need to change a tire on a car, except for the skills to be able to do it. There's others, no problem whatsoever, a little bit of an inconvenience, but we can change a tire and go on about our day. Which would you rather be? Someone who is mildly inconvenienced, or someone who has to wait for somebody else to come show up to change your tire? And that's just one of many examples, guys. But anyways, this is just a quick video that I wanted to do. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out all of the links down in the description. And you can see just back behind me, guys, we're just out here taking another stroll on my property. Something I like to do periodically. And just enjoying it. But guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the rest of the videos on the channel. Be sure to subscribe. Let me hear from you. Be sure to like the video. Visit my website at boomsticktactical.com. And we'll see you next time.